We are back. This is Ryan Moon on Parlay News, where we cover this week's hottest prediction markets on Kalshi and Polymarket. Our show today is about the massive $5 million return of Giannis in what could be this week's biggest trade shakeup. Listen, I want to tell you something. You see that number right there? 63%. That's the probability that Giannis Antetokounmpo, two-time MVP, generational freak of nature, the guy who single-handedly carried Milwaukee to a championship, gets shipped out of Wisconsin in the next 7 days. Not next season, not this summer, 7 days. And while you're sitting there scrolling through memes and arguing about whether your fantasy lineup is optimized, there's $5 million in volume flowing through these markets. $5 million. The entire NBA landscape is about to explode. And if you're not paying attention to this, you're missing the biggest prediction market opportunity we've seen all year. Here's the situation. Milwaukee is 20-28. They're absolutely cooked. Doc Rivers, not working. Dame Lillard, not meshing. And the Bucks front office isn't just passively listening to offers, they're actively entertaining them. When ESPN confirms that Golden State, New York, and Miami are all in conversations, and Steph Curry himself goes on record acknowledging the rumors, you know what that means? That's not speculation anymore. That's negotiation. The framework exists. The assets are lined up. And we've got until February 6th to figure out who's printing money and who's getting absolutely wrecked. Now let me paint you a picture that has traders losing their minds right now. The Warriors have been stockpiling assets for exactly this moment. They've got young players, they've got picks, and they've got a 38-year-old Steph Curry whose championship window isn't measured in years anymore. It's measured in months. The Knicks have draft capital and salary matching contracts coming out of their ears. Miami has cap creativity and Pat Riley, who has a track record of landing superstars when nobody thinks it's possible. And Milwaukee? They're staring down the barrel of watching Giannis walk as a free agent or forcing a trade later with diminished leverage. This is their moment. This is their exit ramp. And the markets are telling you exactly how traders see it playing out. Golden State is sitting at 26 cents. That's not noise. That's legitimate belief that the Warriors' framework makes sense. The Knicks at 14 cents have the second highest probability, but the highest dollar volume at $740,000. Someone with serious capital thinks New York has the pieces to close this. Miami at 12 cents represents what I call the Pat Riley always finds a way premium. And Milwaukee staying put? 40 cents. That means traders are making a 60-40 bet he's gone.
Building a new product? Temez Labs takes you from napkin sketch to the App Store. Trusted by Fortune 500s for quality, security, and speed. Book your free strategy session at temez.ai.
Here's where it gets absolutely spicy. The market is pricing this as probable, but not certain, which means there's edge in both directions depending on your read. The bull case for a trade is simple. Milwaukee is wasting Giannis's prime on a team that clearly isn't working. They're 12 games under 500. The roster construction is broken, and Giannis is 31 years old, right at that inflection point where superstars transition from prime to decline. If you're Milwaukee's front office and you're thinking rationally, you move him now, while his value is maximum, and rebuild around the haul, you get back. The bear case? 7 days is nothing. Moving a $50 million superstar with championship equity requires everything to align perfectly. Medical clearances, salary matching, draft pick negotiations, agent approval, league office processing. That's an incredibly compressed timeline to get all of that done. And here's the kicker that everyone's overlooking. Giannis hasn't formally demanded a trade. That matters enormously. Teams don't usually move franchise players without a forcing mechanism. Milwaukee might just be listening as leverage theater to motivate their roster, not actual intent to deal. So where's your trade? Monday through Wednesday is when frameworks leak. If Shams or Woj tweet anything resembling Bucks and Warriors have discussed frameworks centered on Kuminga plus picks, these markets gap 20 points instantly. If we hit Thursday morning with silence, the stays in Milwaukee odds start climbing hard. Now flip over to Polymarket because while NBA chaos dominates Kalshi, there's a completely different beast-eating volume. Trump deportation numbers. Specifically, will Trump deport less than 250,000 people? The market sits at 5 cents, meaning 95% of traders are confident he deports more than that threshold. This market is fascinating because it's pure policy speculation meets operational reality. Trump's campaign centered on mass deportation and ICE expansion. The market is clearly pricing his stated intent plus Republican congressional support. But here's what's interesting. Nobody's clearly defining the time frame. Full calendar year, first term, first 100 days? Because if it's the full year, Trump needs to average 21,000 deportations per month. That's triple historical norms. The 95% confidence suggests traders believe Trump has the institutional control to hit these numbers. But infrastructure constraints are real. Courts slow everything down. Sanctuary cities refuse cooperation. The actual mechanics of mass deportation are way more complex than executive orders and tough talk. At 5 cents, you're getting 19-1 odds that reality constrains ambitions. That's either the easiest fade in the world or a lottery ticket worth holding. Let me hit the catalyst calendar because the next 7 days are absolutely nuclear. February 6th, NBA trade deadline. Every basketball market closes. Giannis, Ja Morant, Anthony Davis, Jonathan Kuminga, all of them resolve. Based on what happens by Friday afternoon. February 3rd through 5th is leak season. Teams finalize frameworks, agents posture, reporters break details. If you're holding positions, Tuesday morning is your last clean exit before chaos. February 3rd, we've also got the Reserve Bank of Australia decision. Australian inflation printed at 3.8%, well above target. Markets pricing 75% chance of a rate hike. Australia's economy is running hot while global peers are easing. Now the mispriced markets, this is where you actually make money.
Oh, hey friend, do you like what you're hearing? Now you can have a ridiculously amazing podcast too. Check out holler.studio to get yourself one today.
Michael Porter Jr. traded by Brooklyn is sitting at 54 cents. That's coin flip probability that MPJ gets moved by the deadline. Except there's zero concrete reporting of Brooklyn shopping him. The research explicitly says no definitive reports of the Nets actively marketing Porter. Yet somehow, the market thinks it's 50-50. This is pure confusion. Traders see Nets are sellers and assume everyone's available. MPJ just dropped 32 points. He's productive. Why would Brooklyn immediately flip him after acquiring him? The correct price is 15 to 20%. Without named suitors or credible reporting, 54 cents is absolutely insane. This is information arbitrage. Anthony Davis to Dallas at 77 cents is another fade. Reports say a trade is unlikely, yet the market prices it as highly probable. AD has an injury. The deadline is 7 days away. The mechanics of moving an injured $50 million player in that time frame are nearly impossible. This feels like Dallas fans overweighting wishful thinking. Here's what ties this all together. We opened with Giannis because he's the gravitational center of everything happening right now. But the real lesson is about catalyst timing and information edges. The traders making money this week aren't guessing. They're watching for framework leaks, monitoring beat reporter accounts, and understanding which markets have clean catalysts versus which are pure speculation. Giannis gets traded or he doesn't. We'll know by Friday. The RBA either hikes or holds. We'll know Tuesday night. These aren't long-term macro bets where you're fighting uncertainty for months. These are binary outcomes with definitive resolution dates. That's the edge. That's why prediction markets are printing right now. So here's your homework. Watch for Giannis framework leaks Monday through Wednesday. Fade MPJ at 54 cents. Fade AD to Dallas at 77 cents. And if you're feeling adventurous, grab some Trump deportation upside at 5 cents as a lottery ticket that bureaucratic reality matters. The next 7 days are going to be chaos. And chaos, that's where informed traders get paid. Thanks for listening to Parlay News. You can support our podcast by following the show, rating it 5 stars, and telling your friends. Remember, the content on this podcast are for entertainment and educational purposes only, and do not constitute financial advice. Prediction markets are extremely risky, and you should never risk more than you are prepared to lose. Always do your own research.
Grep News. Thomas.